I found the invitation wedged between two cookbooks I'd lent my daughter 3 years ago. The envelope was cream-colored, expensive stock, embossed with golden letters spelling out, "The Martinez Family Reunion." My hands trembled as I pulled it out, my fingerprints smudging the pristine surface. August 15th, 2023. 6 months ago. The cookbooks had been returned last week in a cardboard box left on my porch while I was at my cleaning job. No note, no knock on the door. Just abandoned there like something contaminated. I opened the envelope with shaking fingers. Inside was a professionally printed card with a photo collage. There was my daughter Sophia, her husband Marcus, and my 3 grandchildren I barely recognized anymore. But there were other faces too. My son Miguel with his family. My sister Rosa, who I hadn't spoken to in 5 years. My mother, wheelchair-bound now, smiling in the center of what looked like a beautiful garden venue. All of them, everyone, gathered together in what the card described as a celebration of family, love, and the bonds that hold us together. The date on the RSVP card had long passed. They'd all been there. They'd all celebrated family. Without me. I turned the card over, searching for some explanation, some administrative error that would make sense of this. But there was nothing. Just a small printed line at the bottom. Organized by Sofia Martinez-Chin and Miguel Martinez Jr., my children. My babies. The 2 people I destroyed my body, working double shifts to feed. But this wasn't just an accidental omission. This was something else entirely. And I was about to discover that the invitation I never received was only the beginning of a deception that had been carefully constructed around me for years. I grabbed my phone and pulled up Sophia's number, but something stopped me. Instead, I opened Facebook, something I rarely did. I typed in Martinez Family Reunion in the search bar. The photos loaded slowly on my cheap phone. When they did, I felt something inside me crack open like a frozen lake in spring. There were hundreds of photos. The reunion hadn't been small. It was enormous. Catered buffet, live band, professional photographer. I scrolled through images of my family laughing, dancing, embracing. My mother was there in her wheelchair, surrounded by grandchildren and great-grandchildren. In one photo, Sophia was wiping tears while holding my mother's hand. The comments destroyed me. Best day ever. So grateful for our amazing family. Finally, the whole family together again. The whole family. Except me, my name is Carmen Martinez, and I'm 52 years old. I used to believe that sacrifice was the same thing as love. I was 19 when I got pregnant with Sophia. Her father Daniel was working construction, and we got married in a courthouse with my mother crying the entire time. Not from joy. From disappointment. I'd been accepted to nursing school. I'd had plans. But I did what good girls did. I made it work. Miguel came 2 years later. Daniel was drinking more by then, complaining about his foreman, about how the world was rigged against guys like him. I worked at a laundromat during the day and cleaned offices at night, hauling my babies with me in a stroller. Daniel left when I was 25. He'd met someone younger at a bar. He moved to Nevada with her, and the child support checks stopped after 6 months. I didn't chase him. I was too tired. For the next 20 years, I worked 3 jobs. I missed school plays because I was cleaning houses. I missed soccer games because I was working overtime at the grocery store. But I made sure my kids had what they needed. Sophia went to college. Miguel became an electrician. They both married people from families with money, families with vacation homes, and holiday traditions. I was proud of them. I thought I'd done everything right. The distance started slowly. Sophia moved across town after marriage. Visits became scheduled, formal. She'd bring the kids over every few weeks but stay in the doorway, checking her phone. Miguel stopped calling unless he needed something. After I found that invitation, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at those Facebook photos, zooming in on faces, trying to understand. That's when I noticed something in the background of one picture. A banner. I could only make out partial words. Celebrating Abuela Rosa's 75th.
Abuela Rosa.
My mother's name was Rosa. This wasn't just a family reunion. This was my mother's 75th birthday party. The milestone birthday. And they'd thrown her a massive celebration without telling me. I called my sister Rosa the next morning. She answered on the fifth ring, her voice cold. What do you want, Carmen? I found an invitation, I said, to Mom's birthday party. The one that happened 6 months ago. Silence stretched between us. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. Oh, that, she said. Yeah, we didn't think you'd want to come. You're always so busy with your jobs. Plus, Mom specifically said she wanted a drama-free day. Drama-free. That word had haunted me since Daniel left. Anytime I cried, I was dramatic. Anytime I expressed hurt, I was causing drama. Anytime I existed with feelings, I was too much. She's my mother too, I whispered. Carmen, let's be honest, Rosa said, her voice sharp. You've always been the victim. Everything is always about you and how hard your life is. Mom didn't want her special day ruined by your negativity. We all agreed. We all agreed. Those words echoed in my skull long after she hung up on me. I started digging after that call. I looked through every social media account I could access. What I found made me physically sick. There were other gatherings. Christmas at Sophia's house, with my mother sitting by the fireplace surrounded by everyone. Thanksgiving dinner at Miguel's, with place cards and fancy tablecloths. Easter brunch. 4th of July barbecue. Birthday parties for my grandchildren I'd never been told about. They'd been doing this for years, creating a family unit that specifically excluded me. I thought I'd hit rock bottom, discovering I was erased from my own family. But I was about to learn that my exclusion wasn't random. It was strategic. And the reason why would shatter everything I thought I knew about the people I'd sacrificed everything for. I decided to show up unannounced at Sophia's house. It was a Saturday morning, and I knew from her Instagram that she was hosting a birthday party for Lily, my granddaughter, who is turning 8. 8 years old, and I'd barely spent time with her. When I arrived, cars lined the street. I could hear children laughing in the backyard. I walked up to the front door and knocked. Sophia answered, her face going pale when she saw me. Mom, she said, what are you doing here? I'm here for Lily's birthday, I said. I'm her grandmother. Sophia stepped outside and closed the door behind her. You can't just show up like this. You know the rules. What rules? My voice cracked. The rules where I'm not invited to anything? Where I don't get to see my own grandchildren? Where my entire family celebrates without me? Sophia's expression hardened. You really don't get it, do you? Get what? She pulled out her phone and showed me a text thread. It was a family group chat called Martinez Family. I wasn't in it. I scrolled through months of messages. Plans being made. Photos being shared. My mother commenting with heart emojis. Miguel making jokes.
Rosa organizing dinners.
And then I saw it. A message from 3 years ago. From my mother. We need to talk about Carmen. She's becoming a burden. Always complaining about money. Always making us feel guilty. I think it's time we create some distance. For our own mental health. Sophia had responded. Agreed. She's exhausting. Every conversation is about her struggles. I can't deal with it anymore. Miguel, same. She called me crying last week because she couldn't afford her electric bill. I'm tired of being her emotional dumpster. Rosa, this is what I've been saying for years.
She's a drain.
Let's just fade her out. Slowly. She'll get the hint. I looked up at Sophia, tears streaming down my face. You all planned this? You decided together to cut me out?
Sophia sighed.
Mom, you have to understand. You're exhausting to be around. Everything is a crisis. Everything is a problem. We all have our own lives, our own stress. We can't constantly manage your emotions. I worked 3 jobs to raise you, I whispered. I gave up everything. And you never let us forget it, Sophia snapped. Every conversation, every phone call. I sacrificed so much for you. I gave up nursing school for you.
We know, Mom.
We've always known. But that was your choice. We didn't ask you to be a martyr. The word martyr hit me like a physical blow. I just wanted to be part of the family, I said. You are part of the family, Sophia said. But on our terms. When we invite you. When we have the emotional capacity to deal with you. She went back inside. The door clicked shut. I stood there on her perfect porch in her perfect neighborhood, realizing that I wasn't a mother to them anymore. I was a problem they'd collectively solved by erasing me. I went home and looked at my life with new eyes. My apartment with its secondhand furniture. My 3 jobs that left me exhausted.
My phone that rarely rang.
I'd spent 33 years believing that love meant sacrifice. That being a good mother meant destroying yourself for your children's success. But they didn't see sacrifice. They saw weakness. They didn't see love. They saw neediness. The final twist came 2 weeks later, and it revealed something about my family that I never could have imagined. Something that made me question every memory, every moment, every belief I'd held about who deserved love and who didn't. I received a letter in the mail.
From a law firm.
My mother had updated her will, and as a courtesy, they were informing all potential beneficiaries. I opened it with shaking hands. My mother was leaving everything to Rosa, Sophia, and Miguel. Her house, her savings, her jewelry. The letter specifically stated, Carmen Martinez is intentionally excluded from this will due to her history of financial irresponsibility and emotional manipulation. Financial irresponsibility. I'd been poor because I'd worked minimum wage jobs to support them. Emotional manipulation. I'd cried because I was human and struggling. But here's what broke me completely. At the bottom of the letter was an attached note my mother had written, to be read after her death. The lawyers had accidentally included it. Carmen was always the difficult one. Even as a child, she was too sensitive, too emotional. When she got pregnant, I knew she'd ruined her life, and I refused to let her ruin ours too. I taught her children to protect themselves from her negativity. I taught them that loving someone doesn't mean drowning with them. I saved my grandchildren from becoming like her. My mother hadn't just allowed my exclusion. She'd orchestrated it. For decades, I sat with that letter for 3 days. Then, I did something I'd never done before. I stopped trying that I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't show up. I blocked them all on social media. I changed my phone number. I moved to a smaller apartment across town and didn't tell anyone my address. For the first time in my life, I chose myself. 6 months passed. Then a year. I got promoted at my cleaning job to supervisor. I started taking online classes. I made a friend at work, a woman named Diana, who invited me to her family's dinners and never once made me feel like I was too much. Then 2 weeks ago, Sophia found me. She showed up at my new apartment, her eyes red from crying. "Mom," she said, "Grandma died. The funeral is on Saturday." I looked at my daughter, this woman I'd nearly destroyed myself for, and I felt nothing.
No anger. No sadness.
Just peace. "I'm sorry for your loss," I said. "You're not coming?" Sophia looked shocked. "I wasn't invited to her life," I said. "I don't need to be invited to her death." Sophia started crying. "Mom, please. We need you there. The family needs you." "The family," I repeated. "Which family? The one that decided I was too much of a burden? The one that erased me from every celebration, every photo, every memory?" "We were wrong," Sophia whispered. "I was wrong. We all were. Please, Mom. I miss you." I looked at her, really looked at her, and I saw what I'd never seen before. She wasn't crying for me. She was crying because she finally felt the weight of what they'd done, and she wanted me to carry it for her. Like I'd always carried everything. "I forgive you," I said, "but I don't want you in my life anymore. I deserve better than being someone's afterthought." I closed the door. I didn't go to the funeral. I didn't reach out. I didn't fix it. Because here's what I finally learned. Sometimes the people you sacrifice everything for will see your sacrifice as weakness. They'll take everything you give and still call you selfish for wanting love in return. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away from people who taught you that your love was a burden. I'm 52 years old.
I have a good job.
I have friends who value me. I have a life that's mine. And I'm finally free. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, if you've ever wondered if your love was too much or not enough, I want you to know something. You're not alone, and you're not the problem. Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is love ourselves enough to leave. Some voices stay silent for years. But here, every story finds its sound. Like, subscribe, and stay with the silent parents.